Being invisible at work isn't just uncomfortable, it is expensive. Right now, in 2026, according to Gallup's most recent workplace data, only 28% of employees feel their opinions count at work. That means nearly 3 out of 4 people are showing up every day, doing the work, carrying the load, and feeling completely unseen by the people who decide who gets promoted, who gets paid more, and who gets the opportunities that change a career forever. And here is the financial cost of that invisibility. PayScale's 2026 Compensation Best Practices report found that the most common pay increase in America right now is a flat 3.5%, what they call a peanut butter raise, spread thin across everyone equally. High performers, average performers, invisible workers, same 3.5%. But the employees who break out of that invisible category, who get noticed, who earn the stretch assignments, who are known by the people 2 levels above them, those employees don't get 3.5%. They get promotions, they get off-cycle adjustments, they get recruited away with 15–20% jumps in compensation that the invisible employee will never see. Over a 20-year career, the compounding gap between someone who figured out how to be visible and someone who never did isn't thousands of dollars. It's hundreds of thousands. And the brutal irony, the invisible employee is almost never the worst performer. They're often among the best. They just never learned the one thing that changes everything. Let me show you exactly what that thing is and tell you the story of the moment it clicked for me. For the first 3 years of his career, Kevin was invisible. Not because he was bad at his job. He was genuinely excellent. His work was clean, detailed, consistently delivered on time. His manager knew it. His colleagues respected it. But Kevin operated on a belief that turned out to be the most expensive assumption of his professional life. If I do great work, people will notice. They didn't, not the people who mattered. The VP of his department didn't know his name. The cross-functional projects that were building people's reputations went to colleagues with lower output but louder presence. At his year 2 review, his manager told him he was doing solid work and gave him the standard 3.5% raise, while a peer with objectively weaker metrics walked out with a promotion title and a 12% bump. Kevin drove home that night trying to understand what had happened. The answer came from an unexpected place. A senior colleague, someone who had risen fast, who always seemed to be in the right rooms, pulled him aside one afternoon and said something Kevin has never forgotten. Nobody's coming to find you. You have to make yourself findable. Not loud, not performative. Findable. That word changed everything. Kevin started sending his manager a brief weekly update. 3 bullets, wins, priorities. One question that showed he was thinking ahead. He started asking sharper questions in meetings, not to show off, but because he had done the preparation to earn the question. He introduced himself to 2 senior leaders, not with an agenda, but with a specific observation about a project they were running that showed he understood the business beyond his job description. Within 6 months, his manager's manager knew his name. Within a year, he was leading a project. Within 18 months, he had a 19% salary increase and a title he hadn't expected for another 3 years. Same talent, same company, completely different trajectory. The only thing that changed was his visibility. Here's why this matters beyond the feeling of being respected. 2 employees, same starting salary, $62,000, same performance, same company. Employee A stays invisible, gets 3.5% annually, no promotions for 5 years. Employee B becomes visible, intentionally, strategically, gets 1 off-cycle promotion at year 2 worth $9,000, averages 6% raises instead of 3.5% as their reputation grows. By year 5, employee A earns $73,400. Employee B earns $92,600. That's a $19,200 annual gap, built in 5 years on the exact same talent at the exact same company. Run that forward. By year 10, the salary gap compounds further. The retirement contributions compound on the higher salary. The job offers that come to the visible employee come at higher anchors. Every number downstream is bigger, and the data backs this up. 25% of workers already acknowledge that those who are more visible in the workplace are simply more likely to get promoted, regardless of equal or even superior performance. Visibility isn't vanity. Visibility is compensation strategy. So why do so many talented people stay invisible? Because the instinct to let work speak for itself feels like the right instinct. It feels humble, professional, like the opposite of being the person who self-promotes awkwardly in every meeting. Psychologists call this performance-proof bias, the belief that output alone determines outcomes. And in a fair, rational world, it would. But workplaces are not fair, rational systems. They are human systems. And in human systems, what gets rewarded is not purely what gets done. It's what gets seen and what gets attributed. Gallup's 2025 data found that only 31% of employees feel someone at work actively encourages their development, which means for the other 69%, no one is coming to find their contributions and surface them upward. The talent is there. The work is there. Nobody's carrying it to the room where decisions are made. That's the job you have to take on yourself. 3 moves, actionable, starting Monday. Move 1. The weekly 3-bullet update. Every Friday, send your manager a 3-bullet message. No more than 5 sentences total. Bullet 1. Your biggest win this week. Specific, measurable, if possible. Bullet 2. What you're focused on next week. Bullet 3. One question that shows you're thinking ahead. This does 3 things simultaneously. It keeps your contributions visible without self-promotion, it creates a written record of your impact, and it signals the proactive communication style that managers associate with high-potential employees. Most people never do this, which is exactly why the people who do stand out immediately. Move 2. Ask the one question that makes you memorable. In your next team meeting or group setting with leadership, ask one prepared, specific question. Not a generic question, a question that could only come from someone who has done deeper thinking about the business than their job description requires. Example, given where the team's priorities are shifting, what would a successful Q3 look like from your perspective? That question does not take expertise to ask. It takes preparation and intention, and it signals strategic thinking that most people in that room are not demonstrating. According to the 2026 Engagement and Retention Report, employees who feel appreciated are 17 times more likely to see a long-term career at their company. Appreciation starts with being known. Being known starts with being heard. Being heard starts with one deliberate, well-placed question. Move 3. Build one relationship above your manager. Identify one senior leader, 2 levels above you, who has visibility into work adjacent to yours. Not your manager's manager necessarily. Someone in the organization whose opinion shapes decisions about talent and opportunity. Find one legitimate touchpoint, a cross-functional project, a company event, a question after a presentation. Introduce yourself, briefly, specifically. I'm Kevin. I work on the analytics team. I appreciated your point about customer retention in last week's All Hands. I've been seeing something similar in the data and wanted to ask about it. That's it. Specific, substantive, not sycophantic. One conversation. Done correctly, it plants a name that gets mentioned when the next opportunity opens up, before it's ever posted publicly, before the competition begins.